Hi, I'm Natalie, so this video is going to be evaluation on the project I'm working on. So before I start, I'll tell you the outline of my project. In fact, I'll read my project brief to you. As a designer, you'll begin by conducting research within local environment, in this case Nottinghamshire. So I am doing fashion design next year, so this is the pathway I'll be doing. So I will be looking at local designers and retail outlets and design a range of garments, products for a specific outlet, designer or market. So after looking over my sketchbook, here I'll be evaluating the project I have done. So I've come across three major design problems. The first one was I wanted to include lace in my design because of the history of Nottingham being the world leader of making lace. However, I've come across a few clothing items that have lace. It can be seen as outdated or old-fashioned, and I didn't want that because my target customers are students, younger generations, and no one wants to buy something that looks old, or when they wear it, it looks older. Second of all, it was the color choice. I've done my online research and online survey. The result I've got back was the top three colors: black, white, and blue or navy. It was no surprise, but I didn't want to just choose from these three colors or else it was going to be boring. I was struggling to find a color that could be something that's bright and a pop of color but doesn't scream like attention, because no one wants to wear that. Something's too attention seeking for everyday wear or just uni. Third of all, it was type of garment that I should make. After doing a loads of research and seeing designers or in collections. I was just overwhelmed by loads of information and I didn't know what I should be making. So I was just undecisive on what type of garment I should make. All in all, that was the 3 problems that I had to overcome. So after the 3 problems that I've tackled, there's some consideration I had to consider. The size, how big it should be, how long it should be. Since I've decided to make an oversized blazer, so I had to consider how oversized I want it to be, how big it should be. Second of all, before the designing, I had to consider whether my design would be suitable for everyone and it would be comfortable for everyone, because the top quality I wanted to be is comfort, casual and minimal. That was the 3 qualities that I would be going for and I'll be sticking on to. Besides on whether it will be suitable for everyone, it should also be suitable for every occasions. Since Nottingham is a city for night out, loads of students go for night outs for sure during the weekends, so I want something that would be more than one occasion instead of just one use for work, uni, school. The one occasion, so that was one of the factors that I had to consider. So I started getting ideas from doing loads of research, looking through magazines, going on retail stores, going on the streets and seeing people, what they wear, and just paying attention to my environment, and that was how I got my ideas from. So combining my research and my experience, I have drawn into producing a blazer, because blazer to every one of us is work, formal, and which I don't want that, because in sixth form I had to wear suit every day and I didn't like it because it was my uniform. I had to confine to it. So I want to use the fact that I didn't like it and turn into something I love. I love something that's comfortable, beautiful for my everyday wear, but I still look smart at the same time while I was working or going to uni or everyday wear, but I'm still comfortable in it. So having an oversized blazer would be perfect because it's still something that it looks formal, but it's comfortable because it's oversized. So that was how I started to build up my ideas. So I did a few primer research. The first one is that going into retail store, I went to Zara, went to Vivienne Westwood, Diesel, French Connection. I went in there trying their clothes, taking photos, feeling the garment and feeling the clothing, making sure that quality is right and the fitting was fitted. And so that was one of my primary source. The second one is that I did an online survey. I asked a few of my friends, which was relatable because it was the target customers, which is younger generation that all my friends are. So it was just right, it was just perfect. So there's a few secondary source. So mostly it was internet. I looked into Vogue, for example, for their newest collection, like for the designer brand's newest collection. And I looked into magazine. I purchased a few magazines to see the latest trend and what celebrities are wearing, so making sure that I have loads of knowledge and information to get inspired from to carry on for my design. So there was quite a few designers that inspired my work. First one was Zara, because their approach is always minimal, everyday wear, casual, and the colors were black, mostly black, monochrome colors, but there's always a hint of color in something and a pop of detail, a pop of color in the garments, just not just always that plain and basic, but it is also different. Always keep up to trend as well. The second was Gucci. My oversized blazer was inspired by the 80s fashion, which Gucci currently is blazer was also the big thing. It was the oversized blazer with shoulder pads, and how they use the colour to show the vibrant and the youthfulness of the garment and bringing out the personality as well. Third, it was Valentino. I loved the loose fitting designs. It was comfortable, it wasn't suffocating, it was not body hugging as much. So that was what I liked about it. My wide trousers was inspired by them. Lastly, it was Christian Dior. The soft and strong combination have inspired me. Not just colours, they use materials as well. For example, one of their design, it was a leather jacket paired with a dress or a t-shirt and a skirt. A long skirt. It was just pleated and just very soft on the inside, on the interior top. So the inside it was soft, but the outerwear was a black leather jacket, which was strong and dominant. So pairing it with something very soft, it just made a really nice contrast and the best combination ever. And I like how they use the colour as well. It makes everything so much more different to see, showing more personalities, because no one is just elegant, no one's just edgy, there's always something in between. So that was what I really like about it. It shows personalities, and yes, that was what I want. So that was what I want my design to be. So I was inspired by them as well. So the material I've used was denim. I use it on the blazer and my trousers because I want it to be hard and sturdy, make sure everything was structured, even though I want it to be quite sloppy, but there's still shape to it, especially for my trousers. I want it to hold instead of body hugging. I didn't want anything to be body hugging for the outerwear. And for my trousers, I want it to be nicely structured but not as hard, so denim was the perfect fabric for me. I have considered polyester, but it was just too soft and it didn't create the look I was wanting to. So that's why denim was the perfect fabric to use for this occasion. The second fabric I've used was lace. There's two lace I've chosen. One is a textured thicker lace for the top and one is a thinner one for the blazer. So why I've chosen a thinner one for the blazer was because the material for the jacket, for the blazer, was quite hard and sturdy. I didn't want to contrast with that, so using a softer and lighter lace would just compromise that. For the top, I've used a texture and thicker lace, and the embroidery of the lace will show stronger because it's black. The top is black, so I want something to be playing with. So I want the texture to be the main feature, contrasting with the soft polyester cotton that I have used also on the top. So before making the garment, I wanted to make sure everything would be right, so I did pattern blocks, I did a few samples. So I started with the trousers, making sure the trousers length and the width was right, and I did a bit of alteration, which was good, so I know what to do when it comes to the actual one. So making samples was the best choice I've done, even though it cost me a bit to buy extra fabric and string, but it was worth it, or else when it comes to the actual one I might have to purchase more fabric. I didn't want to spend that much, so I didn't purchase as much fabric as I have, so I just did half of the blazer. Because of the samples that I've done, I feel like the actual work I've produced was very effective, and overall it looks really good. Even though that I feel like The blazer, it could be less of a big, because I guess I didn't use the same material, so I didn't know how it would look. But it turns out better than I thought. Even though my initial idea, it was a slouch blazer, but because of the denim, like how sturdy it was, that I didn't expect it would be, it holds up a bit, which I quite like actually. To wrap up this evaluation, I have learned quite a few things, do and don'ts. So one of them was making samples. It was one of the smartest choices I've ever done, even though it costs me quite a bit, not just money wise but also time wise, because I'm actually making the actual size garment. However, I can pinpoint my mistakes and things I should do or shouldn't do. So on the actual garment or the actual fabric that I will be using for the clothes, I wouldn't do the same mistake, and I know what I should do or shouldn't do when I actually sew them. So that was really good. Making sure the fitting was right, the length was right, everything was right on the sample, then I could carry on the actual one. I'm so much more confident on the actual one than I did on the sample. After all, it was my first time. So the second thing I have learned is that doing loads of research is actually really good. So I have loads of backups, loads of places that I can be inspired from, and information and ideas and knowledge to build up the idea I have right now and the current project I've produced. So it was really good to have loads of research, which I will bear that in mind when I do my next project. Last thing I would take from this project was pinning things. Pinning my fabric together using pin, it was so good. It was so convenient. It like pins everything so everything doesn't go anywhere, and it was like it forecasts how it would look like, and when you're sewing, fabric wouldn't go. It was the best thing. And that's it, that's my evaluation. Hope you enjoy this video.